one of the only copyright activists in Mickey's club.
Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E.
Ultimately, what this is a ride about is about glorifying piracy. They have a great gift shop when you get off that's all full of pirate stuff. I always walk in and I go, man, all this stuff makes me want to download a movie.
I'm a big fan of this man, Walt Disney. I'm a big fan of his work because his greatest works demonstrate beautifully how culture builds on the past. What Walt Disney did, better than perhaps anybody else, was to take works that were in the public domain and updated it and made it relevant for our age.
Real boys?
His work was always continuing the conversation of a culture. It was an expression through a remix of the stuff that went before.
Walt was a mashup artist. Steamboat Willie was based on Steamboat Bill, and in his notes on the score, he says basically he instructs his staff, go and rip off Steamboat Bill for me, please.
Steamboat Bill, steaming down the Mississippi.
Use that so that people will know that we're referencing Steamboat Bill here. Mickey was meant to be a stand-in for every person, to be a kind of generic, everyman. And so I think that we were told to identify with Mickey. And when you're told to identify with Mickey, you sometimes do.
Oh, the stork has brought a son and daughter to Mr. and Mrs. Mickey Mouse.
In the 1960s, a cartoonist named Dan O'Neill wanted to turn American capitalism on its head. And for him, Mickey Mouse was the only character for the job. O'Neill and a collective of proto-remixers known as the Air Pirates reimagined Mickey as a drug-dealing revolutionary. Disney sued, repeatedly. It was a love generation standoff between freedom of speech versus the right of a corporation to control its intellectual property.
We feel that an artist has rights to characters that she creates. Absolutely not. I stole this mouse fair and square.
I always get what I want. Oh, I always get what I want. 'Cause I whine all the time.
I got you something at Disneyland.
What do we got? Oh, how nice. Hey, this is great.
You should use this in court.
Well, yeah, I did put in one of these things in court. They had for $1.25 how to draw a Mickey Mouse, it said on it. I mean, you guys want to tell me how to do this. This is the 1950s CIA mouse, see? See, this is 1928 Steamboat Willie. This is the real mouse here. And they weren't using him. And then when we used him, they went back to him like a shot. They right back to him, oh boy. And they put this image into everybody's mind. So basically, we have a mouse disease. Artists inflicted with this impulse to draw your stupid mouse.
Despite multiple trips to court, O'Neill couldn't stop drawing Mickey. He formed a remix terrorist group called the Mouse Liberation Front, enlisting cartoonists around the world to draw their own Mickey. Disney finally hauled O'Neill to the Supreme Court, whose unanimous decision, 9-0, was that the Air Pirates' use of Mickey Mouse was not fair. They had taken, quote, too much.
So I had all the underground dope players of the 60s all around, so they didn't know anything about copyright. I mean, that's Mickey Mouse, but everybody knows that's not Mickey Mouse, because Mickey Mouse wouldn't do that.
But why go after Mickey? Why did you?
Well, because Mickey, I would have gone after Popeye. I would have gone after Little Lulu. I would have gone after anybody who was paranoid enough to attack everybody on sight. It wasn't about Mickey Mouse. It was about that Disney sued everybody for just looking at them. All of a sudden, this is really silly. Alrighty then. Let's see. Another federal crime.
Once I built a tower up to the sky, bricks and mortar and lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. But can you spare a dime?
Now, after Walt Disney Corporation changed. It's no longer the objective simply to create works and build on the past. Instead, it was also the objective to control Disney works, to make sure others couldn't build upon them.
Now, Disney lawyers have taken aim at this Florida daycare center, saying it has no right to use Disney characters on its walls. The daycare center, called Very Important Babies, received a letter from the Disney company insisting the characters violate copyright laws and could give the impression that the center is affiliated with Disney.
I don't know of anyone who ever drove by here and went, oh, look, Disneyland.
Kids and parents here at Very Important Babies don't want to lose Mickey.
I'll feel sad a lot.
If they took Mickey down? Why?
Because I like him. It hurt me real bad. It'd make me cry.
So if you want to know why Happy Birthday still isn't in the public domain, it's because after Walt Disney died, the Walt Disney Corporation asked the President of the United States to give them the most magical birthday gift of all.
Finally, there was a distinguished visitor at the White House today. This fellow received a rather special welcome. And why not? He is the most famous mouse in the history of mousekind. So he pranced through the East Room today. There was even a stirring rendition of the old Mouseketeer Club song.
In 1998, on Mickey's 60th birthday, copyright law was rewritten to give the Disney empire control of the mouse indefinitely. Copyright terms were extended to the life of the author plus 70 years. Corporations got 95 years, more than quadrupling the original 14-year term of U.S. copyright. And it wasn't just Mickey. Everything that was supposed to be free to remix was now locked up. So today, if you want to make art from the public domain, you'll have to settle for works created before 1923.